put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
That same enemy will put a yoke of iron on your necks. See these chains? That's the yoke of iron that God's talking about.
Right. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
Until when?
He have destroyed thee.
So that's when them chains came off. When we was mentally and spiritually destroyed as a people. That's when they came off. Oh, you can take the chains off. They ain't got no fight left in them. Right. They don't know who they are. They think they're black. They think they're Jamaican. They think they're Haitians. They think they're Puerto Ricans. They don't know who they are. All right, you can take the chains off. They ain't gonna do nothing. That's what God is saying, and that's exactly what happened.
And be not conformed.
Hey, Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ bless. I see you watching the videos. I see you watching the classes. Why you not subscribed? Subscribe today. Click the link below, all right? Don't miss out, Israel. Shalom.
Conform to this world.
My brother. Hold on, I got a question for Brother Quick.
Right here.
Quick question, bro. You got two signs up here. Which one of these is Christ? Where's Christ on these two signs?
That's what they tell you, right?
Say it again, this is what you've been taught?
That's what they tell you. That's closer to what it say right there.
This one? That's also what it say? All right. You're right. What it say? Pretty much. Like some
Skin of bronze, hair of wool.
skin of brown, hair of wool. Right. So how the hell they come up with this as Christ? Because this ain't no skin of bronze. This ain't no hair of wool, right?
Exactly.
So damn, they've been lying to us this whole time, right? You know where you find that in the Bible? Because the skin of brass, hair of wool. What book and chapter? We're gonna read it to you right quick. All right. Revelation chapter 13. We're showing that you're 100% right.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 13. Start verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ.
The revelation of Jesus Christ. We're reading the book of Revelation, right? It says, verse 1, the revelation, meaning the revealing of Jesus Christ. You follow it? Verse 14.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to his foot.
Right, so John, he turned around and looked at Christ. He saw one like the Son of Man, meaning Christ. Go ahead.
And girt about the paps with a golden girdle.
And he had a golden belt on.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So when John looked at Christ, the hairs on his head was white in color, right? Because white is a color, right? But wool, what is wool? That's a texture. What people got wool texture hair? Black people, right? I'm looking at wool texture hair right now. Wool texture hair, wool texture hair. Our people got wool texture hair. This ain't wool. That's straight, stringy dog hair, right? That ain't wool. That ain't sheep-like, right? Keep going.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
Yeah, white afro, white beard. Woolly.
As white as snow. And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Meaning the whites of Christ's eyes were red because Christ drank wine. His first miracle was what? Changing water to wine. Keep going.
His feet.
And what?
His feet.
And so now John looked at Christ's feet.
His feet like unto fine brass.
What color is brass? Brown. But let's see what shade of brown his skin was.
As if they burned in a furnace.
So you take anything and you burn it. What color does it get? Black. Right? Christ is a black man according to the Bible. White woolly hair, skin like brass, burnt in a furnace. That's the true image of Christ according to the Bible. This right here, this is the image of the beast that the Bible speaks of. This image lies to our people. With this image, you get it's okay to break God's laws. I'm gonna prove it to you. For this church, right? People that go to this church, but particularly what day of the week they go to church on? On what? Sunday. According to the Bible, what day is supposed to go on? Say it again? You're not sure? So behind this image you get Sunday worship, right? But let's see what they were supposed to worship according to the scriptures. Exodus chapter 20, go ahead. Exodus chapter 20, verse 8. You go to church? Not anymore, that's good. What church you used to go to? Or what denomination? What denomination? Was it Baptist? Was it Baptist? Okay.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day.
So God said do what?
Remember the Sabbath day.
And this is a commandment where he says remember, remember. Meaning what? He knew that our people would be forced to forget it. So he said remember the Sabbath day. Let's see what the Sabbath day is.
To keep it holy.
To keep what?
Holy.
To keep it holy. God say, hey, you're supposed to keep the Sabbath day holy. Keep going.
6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work.
So God said you can do what you gotta do. You got 6 days to do it.
But the seventh day.
But it says, but the seventh day, what's the seventh day of the week? Saturday. Sunday is the first day when you look at the calendar. Sunday is the first day. So God said, but the seventh day.
But the seventh day,
which is Saturday, and it starts Friday and sundown, but Saturday
is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
Right.
In it thou shalt not do any work.
So on the Sabbath day, that's the day that God commanded us not to work. We're supposed to rest on that day. Right? You following? So no working. Give me all Leviticus 23 and 3. Leviticus chapter 23 verse 3. So like I said, behind this lion image, you get Sunday worship. And we're going to show you some more lies that come behind this image, this lion image.
This is the book of Leviticus chapter 23, verse 3. 6 days shall work be done. But the seventh day.
Here's that word again. The seventh day.
But the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest.
Right.
And holy convocation.
A what?
And holy convocation.
A holy convocation. Convocation means gathering. That's the day we're supposed to gather and worship on the seventh day of the week, not the first day. Our oppressors, our slave masters, told us, forget all that. Do Sunday, the first day. I know God said the seventh day, but nah, don't worry about that. Do the first day. That's our enemy. He want to keep us in sin. Behind the true image, you get the Sabbath day. That's where we read out the Holy Scriptures. The Sabbath day, not the first day of the week. You following? All right, so read that one more time.
6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings.
The Sabbath of who?
Of the Lord in all your dwellings.
The Sabbath of the Lord. And what color is the Lord? Black, right? The Sabbath, according to this image, is the seventh day of the week. This image, you got the first day. We following? All right, so like I said, behind this image come lies. Behind this image, they say God's laws is done away with. You ain't got to worry about God's laws. You probably heard that in the Sunday church. God's laws is done away with. All you got to do is have faith. Have faith. Nah, you got to have faith and the laws. Matthew 5:17, we go there. So we're gonna get some more. Before we go there, where do you see yourself on the sun? This is the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. First one, you heard of the Israelites? You heard of them? The 12 tribes? So you know who they are according to God? As far as like, how does God feel about them? All right, let's go there right quick. So let's see what's special about the Israelites. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. We're going to read about the 12 tribes. What does God have to say about the 12 tribes of Israel, which are the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians? Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. And you say you come from the tribe of Judah, right? All right, all praises.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. Who is God speaking to? Jump to verse 1 right quick. Chapter 1, verse 1. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. Who is God speaking to? Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 1.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1, verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel, all 12 tribes. He's not speaking to the Chinese and the Arabs. He's speaking to who? The Israelites. You follow him? Now let's go back to 7 verse 6.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
God said the Israelites, the 12 tribes, is a holy people unto him. Go ahead.
The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
God said he chose the 12 tribes to be a special people, all unto himself.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Hold on, I thought everybody was created equal. What did God just say? That they're above all of the races. Everybody is not equal according to God. Everybody is not equal according. Read that bottom part one more time.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
So what are they saying? We're better than the Chinese. We're better than the Arabs. We're better than the white man. That's all according to the scriptures. God just said we're above all people on the face of the earth. You follow? So if we're above everybody, why did this happen to us? What did we do to cause this to happen to us if God declared that we're above everybody? Why are we beneath right now? Say it again?
That's whitewashing right there.
You said it's a good question?
He said it's whitewashing.
Whitewashing. You don't think this happened?
No, I'm saying like whitewashing. They take other people's history, wash it out, cover it up, make it seem what they want it to be.
So it's pretty much like this. It's whitewashing.
That's
White
whitewashing.
Jesus is whitewashing. Because according to the Bible, he's black, right? Exactly. So, but I'm saying though, you just read that God said, declared that the Israelites is above everybody. If we are above everybody, why did we fall to slavery? What did we do to cause this to happen? That's the question. Yeah. You don't know, you're not sure. And see, that's why we got to get out these lying churches. They don't teach us nothing. The answer's in the Bible. We're going to get to you. Why did that happen to us? So read it. You finish that off? Yeah. All right. So Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Now, do you remember who God is speaking to? To the Israelites, right? He says, it shall come to pass if thou wilt not hearken and listen to the voice of God.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Right. So God said to his chosen people, if y'all don't listen to me, all these curses is going to happen to you. You following? Curses, it's a bad thing, right? Ain't nothing good about curses, right? All right, so we're going to read these curses. And these curses are going to identify God's chosen people. The people who he says above everybody. These curses. So let's read some of these curses. Verse.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 16. Curse shall thou be in the city.
So God said, you Israelites, for disobeying my commandments, you're going to be cursed in the cities. So why? That's why we need to go into any city. Who's in the hoods and the ghettos? Our people, right? It's no coincidence. No coincidence. That's a judgment from God. For what? For breaking his commandments. Curse shall not be in the city. That's why you go to Detroit, New York, LA, Miami, Chicago. It's us, the blacks, Latinos, Native Indians that got them on reservations. Cursed in the city, right?
And curse shall thou be in the field.
And cursed shall you Israelites be in the field. What fields will be cursed in? Cotton fields, exactly. Sugarcane fields, plantation fields, tobacco fields. That was our people working in fields. Israelites cursing the city, cursing the field for what? For breaking God's commandments. Cursed in the fields for breaking God's commandments. That's our history. That was Bible prophecy to the 12 tribes. Following? So this is proving who we are, our true identity. Because if I asked you beforehand, before you saw this, if I asked you what's your nationality, what would you say? Black. When black is just a color. That's not a true description of our nationality. We're the 12 tribes. We're the Israelites. We're God's chosen people that's above all of the races. Keep going.
Cursed shall thou be thy basket and thy store.
So another curse that said, cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Meaning, where's our major corporations as a people? We've been over here 400 years. We don't got no major businesses, right? We try to set something up and it pretty much failed. As a people, right? Keep going.
Cursed. Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Now it says, another curse, your sons and daughters shall be given to another people. You seen the movie All Roots? Remember they came and took our sons and daughters, sold them off to Master Johnson, West Virginia. Sold them off to Master Charles in Charleston, South Carolina.
Right.
Sold to Master Wilson in Texas,
Right.
Louisiana, Mississippi. Right? Our sons and daughters took it from us, given to another people. What are we reading? Our history in the Bible. Prophesied it happens to the Israelites. This happens to us, your forefathers, and my forefathers, our forefathers. This didn't happen to the Jewish man, the white man who called himself a Jew.
Right.
Did it happen to them? Nah, they lied. They took our identity. We're the real Jews and we're reading it. We're proving it out the Holy Bible.
That's right.
Keep going.
And thy eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
Meaning when our children were taken from us, all we did was cry. We had no power to get them back. Verse 48. We're going to read another curse. Verse 48.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
God is saying, therefore, because you didn't want to listen to me, you didn't want to obey me and keep my commandments, you didn't want to serve me, all right, I'm going to make you serve your enemies. Who is them enemies God's talking about? The white man, exactly. Go ahead.
Which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger.
In hunger. When we want something to eat as a people, who we got to go to? Them, right? Keep going.
And in thirst.
In thirst. Who owned Aquafina Dasani? Them. We don't pay our water bill, it get cut off, right? They own all that. Keep going.
And in nakedness.
Where we get our clothing from as a people? From them. Keep going.
And in want of all things.
God said you got to serve him in want of everything. You want a marriage license, driver license, birth certificate, death certificate. You want a toothpick, you got to get that from them.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
That same enemy will put a yoke of iron on your necks. See these chains? That's the yoke of iron that God's talking about.
Right.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
Until when?
He have destroyed thee.
So that's when them chains came off. When we was mentally and spiritually destroyed as a people.
That's right.
That's when they came off. All right, you can take the chains off. They ain't got no fight left in them.
Right.
They don't know who they are. They think they're black. They think they're Jamaican. They think they're Haitians. They think they're Puerto Ricans. They don't know who they are. All right, you can take the chains off. They ain't gonna do nothing. That's what God is saying, and that's exactly what happened. Keep going. Verse 68.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
And the Lord shall bring you Israelites back into Egypt again. The Israelites in Egypt the first time. Remember when Moses and had his split the Red Sea? Why? What were the Israelites doing in Egypt the first time? What was their position? They were slaves, right? So read that one more time. I'll go back.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So reading another curse. I'm going to put you Israelites, my chosen people, back into Egypt again. That word Egypt means slavery. We're going to prove that. Exodus chapter 20, verse 2. We're going to read this verse to clarify what Egypt means.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt,
I brought you out of the land of Egypt,
out of the house of bondage.
out of the house of bondage. So it's calling Egypt the house of bondage, right? What's another word for bondage? Another word for bondage. Slavery, right? All right. So now let's go back to Deuteronomy 28, verse 68.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
I'm gonna bring you back into slavery again, but let's see how this time.
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
With cargo slave ships. That's how your forefathers came over here, right? So what is this proving? That we are the people that God is talking about. We are the Israelites. We are the real Jews according to the scriptures. That's our true identity. Not blacks, not African Americans.
Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models.